Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gyro. Today I would like to introduce you to my version of Lightning Arrow Deadeye. It's a ranger build that I followed the guide from Wudjo. The link to the original guide is in the description of this video, and this video you can see it more as a build review and some pointers from me as I produce simplified guides for more beginners of Path of Exile and more casual players, as opposed to people who have been scraping the end game of Path of Exile for many years. So if this is your cup of tea, please give it a like, please subscribe to the channel for more of similar conversational type of build review videos. So let's take a look at it. Basically, I am at the moment level 74, so this is obviously a ranger class, and the ascendancy is Deadeye. Now, what do I like about this, and what did I like about Wudjo's guide? What is good about Lightning Arrow? Lightning Arrow is very fast and very furious, so to speak. So Lightning Arrow is a ranged attack. The good thing about Lightning Arrow is the fact that it hits from far into the distance, and we can absolutely hit a lot of enemies with it, and at the same time stay in the relative safety of that distance. We don't have to necessarily come very close to the enemies. And in case you guys and girls are wondering what is wrong with my voice, it's because I have a really bad cold right now. My apologies, but I have to entertain myself somehow, and hence recording of this video. Now, what's good about the build, like I said, is the range, is the speed, is the furiousness of the ranged attacks. It is not a very easy build because you have to kind of ideally achieve all three elements of lightning, cold and fire hitting the enemies, so that you can start making use of Trinity support, which I at the moment do not use, simply because I could not weave in sufficient amount of fire damage. So I am actually working with a simplified version, testing it, and this simplified version is still rather potent for this level range. Of course, I'm not at the very end game level range, but this is not too bad. But Trinity support just doesn't work for me here, which is why instead of Trinity support I am using the physical to lightning support conversion for a little bit of extra physical damage to be converted into lightning elemental damage, because the whole build is revolving around boosting my elemental damage essentially. So I'm jumping kind of straight into this simply because this is not a build guide, and you can take a look at Wudjo's very nice guide and POB. But to very quickly take you through my choices, skill choices here, I built my ranger just like you would normally start building a bow build. I have invested into increasing projectile speed, projectile damage, going kind of past the nodes that are giving me evasion. So I'm investing quite a bit into evasion and spell suppression. Now we obviously very much heading towards Master Fletcher to increase attack speed and accuracy and projectile speed with bows, and we then kind of also take King of the Hill at some point there to increase critical strike chance. Critical strike is how we're scaling the damage of this build. Now there is a lot of, like I said, there is a lot of investment into the elemental damage component and into reduction of the cost of the reservation of skills, so that we can weave in a few auras running here and there. The build is not optimized yet, and it's not to Wudjo's standard, so maybe I'm judging it a little bit too early. But for me, still 74, 75 is where definitely I'm kind of dipping my toes quite a lot into the end game, and by now I should have a feeling whether or not I want to continue playing this build and whether or not it's solid enough for me to continue going deeper into the end game with it. And my honest impression, guys and girls, is that it's a very fun build to get up to this point, just sort of in this way, maybe similar to Val Arc. It's a very fun build to level with, to clear the maps with. But then when you start hitting the end game maps, and kinda at the moment I'm trying to go through about tier 5, tier 6 maps, I'm getting through. But this is an avoidance based build, and even though I have pretty decent avoidance stats, let's go somewhere into my hideout right now so that I can turn on the auras and show to you all my stats in all their glory. So if you can take a look at this, we have estimated chance to evade attacks almost at 70%. We have spell damage suppression chance of 88%, which is massive, yeah. and estimated spell suppression, prevention of the spell damage is 53. Again, not optimized, but nothing to super sneeze at. My elemental resistance are not capped just yet. Again, we are not trying to impress anyone here. I'm just telling you where the build is at. And my life is embarrassingly low. It's at 2.5 thousand points of life, which basically, even though I was following the guide, I was taking all the life nodes, extra, maximum life nodes, and all of that kind of stuff, not deviating from the guide too much. I can tell you, my friends, that around this level, I still feel very, very, very squishy, very dependent on luck, purely luck. So if I'm lucky, I live. If I'm not lucky, then I very much die. And I'm not sure that I like this really non-tankiness of this build. I know that Raider, for example, Ascendancy of Ranger can achieve a lot more of defensive layers, and it feels sturdier. I played Raider enough before, but in this particular case, I'm looking at this Deadeye, and as much fun and as lightning kind of powered powerhouse as it feels across the maps, when you reach the bosses, you really get anxious that it's just gonna one-shot you at one point. So that's kinda in a nutshell how I feel about this build. It's not bad. It's definitely not a bad build. It has a amazing, wonderful potential, especially if you invest further into boosting your life, just becoming thicker essentially. And also, obviously, it depends a lot on the gear. I don't have bad gear. I think I have pretty decent gear for early end game. But at the same time, not that many pieces that I'm wearing are explicitly adding to life. Plus life, plus life, plus life. And that's what generally is recommended. But in this case, just to keep up with the stats and wearing most important pieces such as Asenath's Chant, Iron Circlet can't do anything. Well, you can play without it, but it adds really, really fantastic capability of automatically triggering a socketed spell, which is Tornado in my case, when we attack with a bow. That is really, this kind of auto-firing capability of this build is really, really fantastic. So that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this build. But the squishiness, I'll be honest, my friends, is getting to me. It's really, really getting to me, and I don't think it's a long-term investment for me. Because at this stage, I have put quite decent gear here, well, for a casual anyway. I have a lot of uniques, yes, and maybe in order to invest into life you have to switch to yellow kind of rare gear, and you have to put some extra explicit points of life, maximum life boosting points. In this case I couldn't. But overall, these are my feelings, my friends. So if you have any opinions about this, please share them in the comments down below. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up this video here, and I will talk to you next time, reviewing some other build that I'll be inevitably testing. And yes, spoiler alert, it might be either the Phantasm Summoner, or it might be Lightning Strike. Not Lightning Arrow, but Lightning Strike Raider. And Raider Ascendancy is certainly a lot tankier than this. Thanks again for tuning in today. Really appreciate it. Gyro out for now.